everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack, and today we've got another LEGO minifig collection for you, and it is Obi-Wan. In our collection, we have an even 24 minifigs, and I'll be presenting them to you in the orders of Episode 4, the original old Obi-Wan, Episodes 1 with the young Padawan Obi-Wan, and Episodes 2 and 3 with the young Jedi Master Obi-Wan. And I'll be adding the Clone Wars minifigs in there as well. And as you can see, there's a lot of minifigs to get to, so let's get started right now. Our first Obi-Wan here, the original, has yellow skin. He has a tan body with a little brown piece in the middle there, and some very simple, almost silly looking robe detailing. He came out in 1999 in the Land Speeder set 7110. And also notable here, you see he has a chrome handled hilt. And all the hilts actually were chrome until about 2005, and then LEGO started changing them to gray and silver. And I think this is because the chrome would actually just chip off after a while. But anyways, it's a nice original minifig, not a bad Obi-Wan. And the next time we see a version of this Obi-Wan is in 2007 with the Millennium Falcon set 10179. But right now we're actually looking at the Obi-Wan from 2010, Luke's Land Speeder 80192. But this is because the only difference between the two Obi-Wans are the white pupils in their eyes. As you can see, the robe detailing on the torso looks a lot better, and the legs are all tan instead of having that brown piece. And this Obi-Wan looks pretty good. I know LEGO certainly thought so when they designed him, because this version of him came out in a bunch of sets. Here he is in 2011, and he came out in the Millennium Falcon set 7965. You'll see the only difference here is a cape and a hood instead of hair. But the no-pupiled version of this Obi-Wan came out in 2008 in the Death Star set 10188. Once again, the only difference are those little white dots in the eyes. And here is 2013 old Obi-Wan, and you can see this time he has the same body but just a cape and gray hair. And he came out with the Darth Vader vs. Obi-Wan watch. And I think it has a few different set numbers. And if you're thinking that there's a version of this Obi-Wan without white dots in the eyes, then you are correct. In 2009, this guy appeared in a different Obi-Wan watch. So it seems LEGO was releasing nearly the same version of this old Obi-Wan minifig for quite a while, but that all changed in 2014 with the Mos Eisley Cantina 75052. And I think this minifig by far looks way better than the rest. He now has a brown torso piece with printing on the legs to show that it is a robe extending very low. And he also has printing on the back that shows his hood there. But I think they did the best job redoing the face. His beard is a little bushier and it's gray and white, but the shape of the eyes have been changed slightly to look a little bit more wise or insightful. Here are the Episode 4 Obi-Wans. The head printing has 4 different versions and the body really only has 3. And I do like that the most recent iteration has robes printed onto the body instead of a cape. So that's it for the original trilogy Obi-Wans, or the old Obi-Wans. So let's move to the Episode 1 Obi-Wans where he is a Padawan of Qui-Gon Jinn. And here's our first version from 1999, Gungan Sub 7161. Now the detailing looks pretty good. It's hard to believe that the original Obi-Wan came out in the same year as this guy. He's got a tan torso piece and brown legs, as well as a brown hood and a pretty tattered brown cape. Now I could have replaced the cape easily with a newer one, but I prefer the old figs to have their original capes. I think it actually kind of looks good. A little bit of wear for the road isn't terrible. Now the next Padawan Obi-Wan is from 2002 from the set Jedi Defense 17203. He's nearly identical to the previous one, but instead doesn't have a hood, and he also has a printed on braid that runs down the chest. And this is the first time you see the Padawan braid, and it certainly won't be the last. And our young Padawan has now entered the realm of flesh-colored faces in 2007. This minifig appeared in the set Republic Cruiser 7665. You'll see the printing on the face is the same, but he just has a flesh-colored head and hands. But his legs are tan now, and the detailing on his torso piece is somewhat more simple. In a strange way, it feels like LEGO took a slight step back with this version of Obi-Wan. But that's okay because LEGO makes up for it in the next version in 2011, and he appeared in Anakin and Sebulba's Pod Racers set 7962. You can see the detailing on the torso piece is a little bit more intricate. You can see some shading and a slightly reflective belt buckle. And despite the cape covering the back, there is also some printing there as well. Just more robes and a belt with some utility stuff on it. But this Obi-Wan has 2 expressions that you can see here. One's a bit frustrated and the other one is smirking. And I guess this is to show his emotions when he's watching the pod race. And the next year we get another Padawan Obi-Wan. He has no hood on this time, so once again you can see his braid printed on the torso. And it's a little bit lighter, sort of reddish brown to match his hair, which has changed. And this guy appeared in Gungan Sub set 9499. And though the belt and hair are slightly different, the most notable difference is definitely the printed on oxygen mask, or as I like to call it, the water breathing harmonica thingy. And he does also have another expression which just generally looks not happy. But anyways, the last Padawan Obi-Wan was made back in 2014. He came out in 2 sets, one being MTT 75058 and Naboo Starfighter 75092. But the only difference between this guy and the last are the printed legs and the "oh, did I just poop myself" face. LEGO has definitely gotten better with the facial expressions, that is for sure. These are the different Padawans, and they have a little bit more variation. There's a few more special face prints for expressions, and there are 4 different body prints. A solid bunch of Padawans for sure. So that's it for the Padawans, and it's time to see Obi-Wan in his young Jedi Master phase, of which there are the most versions. And I will actually split this category up into 2 other ones, one being the regular young Jedi Master Obi-Wan, and the other being young Jedi Master Obi-Wan with a headset. And that sounds completely arbitrary, but just go along with it, you will see why I did this at the end. Let's start with the Masters without headsets. And the first one up here came out back in 2002 in the set Bounty Hunter Pursuit 7133. And you can see we are back in the time of yellow skin and chrome lightsaber hilts. The torso piece isn't actually any different from a previous Obi-Wan that we saw, but what is different is the face and hair. And this is by far the silliest and daintiest looking Obi-Wan in existence. He's got sort of the classic Lego face with just some extra facial hair painted around it, and with hair like that, I really don't know how he can strike fear into his enemies. Well, let's move on to 2005, and this guy came out in the Ultimate Lightsaber Duel Set 7257, and here is one of only 4 minifigs that has a light up saber. The body doesn't have any different detailing that you haven't seen yet before, but the face is a little bit, I think. The printing is almost the same as the last one, though the eyes I think are a little bit bigger. But the coolest part about this guy is of course his saber. You can't take the legs apart or the head off, and you can see that there isn't even a hand that holds onto the saber. When you push down on the head, the lightsaber lights up, and I just replaced the batteries on this, so it actually lights up pretty bright. A very cool fig, and I can't wait till we have all of the light up minifigs. But moving on, 2005 also had almost the exact same version of this guy in the set General Grievous Chase 7255. Now the only difference here, aside from the fact that he does not light up of course, is that he has hair and no hood. But our next version of young Jedi Master Obi-Wan is a very unique one. He came out in 2008, and he's Obi-Wan from the Clone Wars. The first set he appeared in was Republic Attack Gunship set 7676. He also came out in quite a few other sets, as well as a Comic-Con display. He's got a tan torso piece with white arms, black hands, and a tan groin piece with white legs. You can see a belt, some cloth detailing, and a little bit of armor. But the most notable changes are of course in the face. The detailing is meant to match the Obi-Wan from the show. His eyes are big and blue, and there are some black lines etched into the facial hair, as well as this new comb-over hairpiece. A pretty cool minifig, and definitely a very classic version of Obi-Wan from the show. But when we move to 2013, we get a bunch of new Obi-Wans, and a couple more from the Clone Wars show. This guy here came out in the Bark Speeder set 75012. The detailing for the robes here is quite a bit different and unique compared to any of the other Obi-Wans made. The belt is also different, and there's also printing for robes that go onto the light brown legs. He's got the same comb-over piece as before, and this time 2 expressions. One of them's an angry frown, and the other one is a smile. And here's the last one of these guys from the Clone Wars show. He came out in the set HH87 Starhopper set number 75024. And this guy is by far the most unique version of any Obi-Wan minifig, and that is because he is wearing a disguise. I think it's Reiko Hardeen? The torso piece is gray, but the arms and legs are olive green, and he's got some detailing that looks both like warm clothing and armor. And you will notice he is also the only bald version of Obi-Wan. The printing on the face is kind of disturbing. He frankly doesn't even look human. He also carries this giant blaster rifle. It's actually a long rifle with a hilt piece attached to the front. One of the only versions of Obi-Wan without a lightsaber. In fact, the only one of 2 versions, and this is the second right here. He is a 2014 release, and he came out in the General Grievous Wheelbike set 75040. You can see the Jedi robe detailing is different and very detailed, as well as printing on the legs. He's got a slightly different comb-over piece this time, but he finally has a Lego designed version of his face that I can finally take seriously. It comes with 2 expressions, one is angry and the other one is concerned, but the detailing works and it finally actually looks like Obi-Wan. And if you remember in the movie, he loses his saber in this battle, so this set gave him a couple of different weapons instead. And I actually jumped ahead a little bit. Here is Obi-Wan from 2012, and he came in the set Anakin's Jedi Interceptor 9494. The torso matches a Padawan version, and the faces are the same as the last. though this minifig was the first to show them. And moving on to our last version of young Jedi Master Obi-Wan without a headset, and he's actually from 2013, so I guess I skipped 2. And he's all tan, he has printing on his legs. The torso printing is the same as the last one, but the flesh printing by the neck is slightly lighter. But you'll see he is the only Obi-Wan with longish hair, at least longish hair that looks like this. He came out in the set Republic Gunship 75021, and he has the same expressions as the previous Obi-Wan. And moving on to the last and final segment of Obi-Wan's the young Jedi Master version of him with a headset, and the first guy up here came out back in 2002 in the set Jedi Starfighter 7143, and he is pretty much completely identical with the other 2002 version of this young Jedi Master Obi-Wan, except of course he has a headset. Very simple little print on the face. Moving on up the ladder, we get to 2005, and this Obi-Wan looks nearly identical as the other young Obi-Wan Jedi Masters from this year, but he has the simple, tiny printed on detail on his face of the golden headset. And this minifig came out in the set Ultimate Space Battle 7283. And in 2007, LEGO didn't get too much more creative. It is the exact same minifig here, just about. The only difference here are the tan legs instead of the tan and brown legs like before. And he came out in the Jedi Starfighter with booster ring set 7661. And if you were wondering why I split this last bit up between Obi-Wan's with and without headsets, because the latest Obi-Wan released is the 2016 Obi-Wan, and he has a headset. Now that I'm thinking about it doesn't really matter that I split it up this way or not, but anyways, that's how I did it. Now, we don't have him yet, but of course he is on our list, and we will have him shortly. And this guy looks pretty much identical to the Obi-Wan from the General Grievous wheelbike set. The only difference, of course, being the headset printed on his face, and maybe the slightly confused expression. And we just finished going through all the Obi-Wans. Here they are all together again. There isn't a huge amount of variation between a lot of these Obi-Wans. Despite his character being put through a ton of different situations throughout the Star Wars saga, he remains a devout member of the Jedi Order and therefore doesn't stray too far from what they wear. Personally, I would like to see a Blue Ghost version of Obi-Wan either from a Dagobah set or maybe a new Ewok Village set, but something tells me that isn't going to be happening anytime soon. So that's it for this episode. We really do like making the minifig collection videos for you guys, and if you have any ideas on another new minifig collection video you want to see us do, you can let us know in the comment section below. Other than that, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy our content, feel free to subscribe. We will see you next time at BrickVault.